Money is more than just a tool of exchange. It's a powerful symbol that reflects our relationship with abundance, security, and opportunity. While many people focus on earning and spending money, few consider the deeper impact of where they store it. The spaces we choose to keep our money, whether physical cash, investments, or even symbolic representations like jewelry, can influence how we perceive wealth and how it flows into our lives. This isn't just a matter of practicality, it's a matter of energy and intention. Throughout history and across cultures, money has been seen as a manifestation of energy. It is earned through effort, exchanged for value, and saved for future security. The way we treat this energy mirrors how we value ourselves and our resources. Think of it like planting seeds. A farmer wouldn't scatter valuable seeds in barren soil and hope for a fruitful harvest. In the same way, storing money in disorganized, forgotten, or inappropriate places can block its potential to grow and bring stability into our lives. Imagine walking into someone's home and they show you where they store their money. You open a drawer filled with crumpled receipts, tangled cords, and a layer of dust. Instinctively, you might feel uneasy, as though their finances are an afterthought. This discomfort isn't just psychological, it's symbolic. Money stored in chaos often reflects deeper issues: a lack of clarity, fear of scarcity, or an absence of intentionality. Cultures like the Chinese, through the ancient practice of feng shui, have long understood the significance of where money is kept. Feng shui teaches that energy, or qi, flows through our spaces and influences our lives. Storing money in areas that are cluttered or neglected disrupts this flow, creating an environment where financial energy stagnates. For instance, keeping cash in a kitchen drawer near spoiled food or broken utensils doesn't just look disorganized. It carries the symbolic message that money isn't treated with care or respect. But even without a spiritual perspective, consider the practical implications. Disorganized money often leads to misplaced bills or forgotten cash, which results in unnecessary stress. For example, have you ever found a $20 bill in an old coat pocket and thought, if only I had known this was here sooner? This small but impactful moment highlights the importance of intentionality. If you don't know where your money is, how can you expect to control or grow it? Beyond physical spaces, the psychological environment we create for money matters just as much. When money is treated as an afterthought, it sends a subtle message to our subconscious that wealth isn't valued, prioritized, or expected to stay. Conversely, storing money in a clean, organized space signals abundance and readiness for more. Think of someone who keeps their savings in a beautifully crafted box or a well-maintained safe. This act of respect doesn't just keep the money physically secure, it reinforces a mental state of gratitude and stewardship. There's also a fascinating connection between the places we store money and the emotions we attach to it. A grandmother might keep cash in a cookie jar, symbolizing comfort and nostalgia, while a young professional might use a sleek leather wallet, reflecting ambition and organization. Each choice tells a story about their relationship with wealth. However, when money is tucked away in forgotten corners, like under mattresses or stuffed into random envelopes, it often reflects fear or mistrust. These hidden spaces act as physical manifestations of financial anxiety, where money is hoarded out of fear of losing it. Even our modern financial systems mirror this dynamic. Banks, for instance, invest heavily in creating an image of security and professionalism, from their physical branches to their online platforms. This isn't just about function, it's about fostering trust. If a bank's website looked outdated, or their vault seemed poorly maintained, customers would hesitate to store their wealth there. On a smaller scale, the same principle applies to our personal finances. A dedicated, organized space for money encourages not just security, but also confidence in our ability to manage and attract more. The question then becomes, what kind of environment are you creating for your money? Is it one that welcomes growth and prosperity, or one that stifles its potential? This isn't about extravagance or wealth flaunting. You don't need a luxury safe or a perfectly curated space. What matters is the intention behind your choices. A small, neatly labeled envelope for savings, a clean and organized wallet, or even a designated drawer that's free of clutter can transform how you perceive and interact with your finances. As we explore the deeper implications of where money is stored, consider this. The act of choosing a space for your wealth is also an act of choosing how you view abundance. Is it something you trust to grow and flow freely, or is it something you fear losing and feel the need to hide? This leads us to the next crucial idea. Not all spaces are created equal. Some places, despite seeming convenient, carry negative energy that can hinder your financial stability. To fully understand this, we'll need to explore the specific types of locations that could be sabotaging your relationship with money, starting with those that are impure and chaotic. These spaces might seem harmless at first, but their hidden impact could be holding you back in ways you've never imagined. There's an old saying that money doesn't grow on trees, but what if the way we treat money is just as important as how we earn it? Beyond the practicalities of saving and budgeting, there's a deeper layer that few consider: the energy of the spaces where we store our wealth. One of the most overlooked yet impactful mistakes people make is keeping money in impure or disorganized places. These spaces, whether physically messy or symbolically negative, can unconsciously create barriers to financial stability and growth. Imagine opening a drawer to retrieve some cash, only to find it buried beneath crumpled receipts, expired coupons, broken pens, and random items you've forgotten you even owned. The act of digging through this chaos to find your money doesn't just waste time, it sends a message, both to yourself and the universe, that wealth is an afterthought. This may seem like a small detail, but our external environments often reflect our internal mindset. A cluttered drawer can mirror a cluttered approach to finances, where priorities are scattered and money is undervalued. The impact of such disarray goes beyond inconvenience. In many spiritual traditions, including feng shui, clutter is seen as a block to energy flow. When energy, or qi, is stagnant, it can create obstacles in various areas of life, including finances. Consider this: a drawer stuffed with junk doesn't just trap physical items, it traps potential. Money, which thrives on flow and intention, becomes another item lost in the mess. Over time, this lack of attention and care can manifest in financial struggles, such as unexpected expenses or the feeling that money slips through your fingers without explanation. This isn't just a theoretical concept, it's a principle supported by psychology. Studies have shown that physical clutter increases stress and reduces focus, making it harder to make clear decisions. When your financial resources are tangled up in disorganization, it can lead to missed opportunities, misplaced bills, or even forgotten savings. For instance, how many times have you stumbled upon spare cash in a pile of papers or an old wallet and thought, "I had no idea this was here"? While that moment might feel like a small victory, it also reveals a deeper problem: a lack of control over your financial environment. Now, picture the opposite scenario. You open a neat, clean drawer where your money is stored in an envelope or a small box, carefully labeled and easy to access. The act of reaching for that money feels intentional and empowering. You're not just grabbing cash, you're affirming your control over your resources. This simple shift in how and where you store your money can have a profound effect on your mindset, transforming a sense of scarcity into one of abundance. One common example of an impure space for money is the kitchen. Kitchens are often the heart of the home, bustling with activity and filled with a mix of energy. However, when disorganized, they can become a symbol of waste and neglect. Imagine storing cash in a junk drawer next to broken utensils, expired food, or loose crumbs. The symbolism here is powerful. Money, a representation of value, is being placed in an environment associated with neglect. Over time, this can create an unconscious association between finances and wastefulness, making it harder to break free from cycles of overspending or poor financial habits. The same principle applies to other neglected spaces, like the bottom of a purse or a cluttered desk. These areas, often filled with items we mean to organize later, become black holes for energy. Money stored here becomes forgotten or misused, a casualty of our tendency to postpone decisions. What starts as a harmless habit, tossing loose change into a drawer or stuffing cash into an envelope, can snowball into a pattern of financial disarray. But it's not just about cleanliness, it's also about energy. In spiritual practices around the world, purity is linked to intention. In Hinduism, for instance, money is associated with the goddess Lakshmi, who represents wealth and prosperity. It's believed that to invite her blessings, one must keep their financial spaces clean and respectful. Similarly, in feng shui, certain areas of the home are considered wealth centers and must be kept free of clutter to promote financial abundance. These practices may vary in their specifics, but the underlying message is the same. How you treat your money reflects how you value it. An interesting example comes from a story shared by a financial advisor who noticed a pattern among her clients. Those who kept their financial documents, cash, and even their bank statements in organized, intentional spaces were more likely to have a clear understanding of their financial goals and a stronger sense of stability. Meanwhile, clients who stored these items in chaotic, neglected spaces often struggled with anxiety about money and lacked a clear plan for managing it. The good news is that making a change doesn't require drastic measures. Start small. Take a moment to identify where you currently store your money or financial items. Is it a place of respect and care, or is it an afterthought? Clear out any clutter, dust off neglected areas, and create a dedicated space for your wealth. This could be as simple as a clean wallet, a small safe, or a drawer lined with a fabric that feels special to you. The act of organizing isn't just practical, it's symbolic, signaling to yourself that you're ready to take control of your finances. As you transform these spaces, notice how your mindset begins to shift. You may find that you feel more confident, more aware of your resources, and more capable of attracting abundance. But the journey doesn't end here. While purifying your financial spaces is a powerful first step, it's equally important to consider where your money might be leaking away due to high-traffic areas or careless habits. These seemingly innocent choices can have a surprising impact on your financial stability, and understanding them is key to taking your financial awareness to the next level. When it comes to managing money, one of the most overlooked mistakes people make is storing it in high-traffic areas. These are spaces where money is constantly moved, handled, or accessed, often without much thought or organization. At first glance, it might seem convenient to keep cash or financial items in such locations. After all, having them within easy reach saves time, right? But what many don't realize is that these spaces can unintentionally create a cycle of instability, where money seems to flow out as quickly as it comes in. Consider a common scenario: a wallet or purse stuffed with crumpled bills, loose change, and random receipts from weeks or even months ago. Every time you open it, you're met with a sense of disarray. What should be a symbol of financial control becomes a constant reminder of chaos. You might justify it thinking, "I'll clean it out later," but that later often never comes. Over time, this simple act of neglect can shape your relationship with money, making it feel transient and fleeting, as though it's never truly yours to keep. This phenomenon isn't just psychological, it has practical implications too. When money is stored in high-traffic areas, it's far more likely to be spent impulsively. For example, keeping a large amount of cash in your wallet may lead to unnecessary purchases simply because it's readily available. The phrase "easy come, easy go" takes on new meaning in this context. Without a clear system to manage or protect your money, it becomes easier to justify small, unplanned expenses that quickly add up. Now think about the places in your home where you tend to stash cash or important financial items. Are they truly secure? Many people store money in accessible areas like kitchen counters, bedside tables, or even the pockets of jackets hanging by the door. These locations might feel convenient, but they also make it easier for money to disappear, whether through simple forgetfulness or the hands of someone else. It's not uncommon for people to lose track of cash hidden in these spots, only to rediscover it months later, often at a time when it could have been put to better use. One striking example comes from a story about a man who routinely kept his spare cash in a dish on his kitchen counter. The logic was simple. It was a central location where he could easily grab money if needed, but over time, he noticed that the money seemed to disappear faster than he expected. Family members would occasionally borrow a few bills here and there, and he himself would dip into it for small expenses without keeping track. What started as a system of convenience turned into a source of frustration and financial leakage. High-traffic areas also symbolize instability in a broader sense. Money stored in these spaces is often associated with a lack of long-term planning. Instead of being earmarked for savings or meaningful investments, it becomes part of a cycle of short-term transactions. This creates a subtle yet powerful message that money is something temporary, something to be used quickly rather than nurtured and grown. Culturally, this idea is echoed in various traditions. In feng shui, for instance, wealth is represented as a steady flow of energy. Placing money in high-traffic areas disrupts this flow, making it harder for abundance to settle and grow. Instead, money becomes scattered, mirroring the disorganized energy of its environment. On a more practical level, the constant handling of money in these spaces increases the likelihood of loss, theft, or simply forgetting where it was stored. But here's the good news. This is a habit that can be changed with a few simple adjustments. Start by identifying the high-traffic areas in your life, both physical and mental. Where do you currently store money that is accessed frequently and without much thought? Perhaps it's a drawer near the front door, a cup holder in your car, or even the pockets of a bag you use daily. Once you've pinpointed these spaces, consider how you can create a system that encourages stability and intentionality. For instance, instead of keeping large amounts of cash in your wallet, you might set aside a smaller, predetermined amount for daily expenses, while the rest is stored in a secure, organized location. This approach not only reduces the temptation to spend impulsively, but also reinforces the idea that your money has a purpose beyond immediate use. Similarly, if you're in the habit of leaving spare change or loose bills in random places, invest in a small box or envelope where they can be gathered and accounted for regularly. Another powerful strategy is to designate a single intentional space for financial items. This could be a small safe, a dedicated drawer, or even a specific folder for important documents. The key is to make this space feel organized and purposeful, a place where your money is treated with respect. Think of it as creating a home for your wealth, where it can rest securely and grow without interference. This shift isn't just about organization, it's about changing your mindset. When you take the time to create intentional spaces for your money, you're sending a message to yourself and the universe that you value your resources and are ready to manage them responsibly. This act of care can have a ripple effect, influencing not only how you handle your finances, but also how you perceive opportunities for growth and abundance. Of course, eliminating high-traffic storage habits is just one piece of the puzzle. While it's crucial to protect your money from the chaos of constant movement, it's equally important to consider the opposite extreme, hiding it away so securely that it becomes inaccessible even to you. This brings its own set of challenges, creating a mindset of fear and scarcity rather than abundance. The idea of hiding money in secretive places has an undeniable appeal. It feels secure, clever even, like a personal safeguard against unexpected circumstances. For centuries, people have been tucking cash into sock drawers, burying coins in backyards, or slipping bills between the pages of old books. On the surface, these tactics might seem practical or even resourceful. But beneath that sense of control lies a deeper issue. When money is hidden too well, it often becomes inaccessible, neglected, or symbolic of fear. Instead of fostering financial security, these behaviors can inadvertently reinforce a mindset of scarcity and distrust. Imagine a scenario. You stash some emergency cash in an obscure corner of your home thinking, "This will be my safety net." Months pass, and that money lies forgotten, gathering dust. When a true emergency arises, the money is either too well hidden to be retrieved quickly or entirely overlooked. This highlights one of the main problems with overly secretive storage. Money that's out of sight is often out of mind. While it's important to have savings, hoarding cash in inaccessible places can lead to financial inefficiencies and missed opportunities. This tendency to hide money stems from a very human instinct, the fear of loss. For many, it feels safer to keep wealth tucked away where no one else can find it. But here's the paradox. Hiding money in extreme secrecy doesn't eliminate the fear of losing it. It amplifies it. When you're constantly worried about whether your hidden stash is truly safe, you create a cycle of anxiety. Instead of feeling secure, you may find yourself checking and rechecking your hiding spots, or even forgetting where you placed your savings altogether. There's also a psychological component at play. Hiding money can send a subconscious message that wealth is something to be protected at all costs, rather than something to be nurtured and grown. It cultivates a mindset where money is seen as finite and fragile, rather than abundant and dynamic. Over time, this can lead to a scarcity mentality, where every financial decision is driven by fear rather than confidence. Cultural traditions and history offer plenty of examples of this behavior. During times of economic instability, people have gone to great lengths to hide their wealth, During the Great Depression, for instance, it wasn't uncommon for individuals to sew cash into mattress seams or bury valuables in their yards. While these strategies made sense given the lack of trust in banks at the time, they also reflected a pervasive sense of fear and uncertainty. Even today, some people continue to rely on similar methods, driven by a deep-seated mistrust of financial institutions or a fear of being unprepared for the unexpected. But what happens when money is hidden too effectively? A woman once shared a story about her grandmother, who had a habit of stashing money in unusual places around the house. After her grandmother's passing, the family discovered cash tucked inside coffee tins, shoe boxes, and even the lining of old coats. While the process of uncovering these hidden treasures was bittersweet, it also highlighted a key issue: that wealth, when hidden away like this, isn't working for you. It's stagnant, offering no real benefit other than a fleeting sense of security. Financial experts often emphasize the importance of making your money work for you. This doesn't mean keeping all your savings in plain sight or easily accessible, but it does mean finding a balance between security and usability. Money that's hidden too well can't grow. It can't earn interest, contribute to investments, or support your financial goals. Instead, it becomes a dormant resource, disconnected from the opportunities it could create. Consider the concept of money flow. In both spiritual and practical terms, wealth thrives on movement and intention. When money is hoarded or hidden, it disrupts this flow, creating a sense of stagnation. Think of it like water in a river. When it flows freely, it nourishes everything in its path. But when it's dammed up or diverted, it can become stagnant, losing its vitality. This doesn't mean you should leave money lying around carelessly, of course. Security is still important. But there's a difference between keeping money safe and hiding it out of fear. The key is to create systems that protect your wealth while allowing it to remain accessible and functional. A good example of this is using a secure safe for cash and important documents. Unlike an overly secretive hiding spot, a safe offers both protection and convenience, allowing you to retrieve your money when needed without the risk of forgetting where it's stored. Another practical tip is to assign a clear purpose to your hidden savings. Instead of tucking money away indiscriminately, designate it for specific goals or emergencies. For example, you might have an envelope labeled vacation fund, stored in a secure location or a separate account for unexpected expenses. This approach not only gives your money a sense of purpose, but also helps you stay organized and intentional about your financial decisions. The act of hiding money also has symbolic implications. When wealth is treated as something to be hidden, it can create a sense of shame or secrecy around financial matters. This can make it harder to talk openly about money or seek advice when needed. By shifting this perspective and treating money as a tool for growth and opportunity, you can create a healthier, more empowered relationship with your finances. As you reflect on your own habits, ask yourself, where do you store your money and what does that say about your mindset? Are you hiding it out of fear, or are you creating spaces that reflect abundance and confidence? The answers to these questions can reveal a lot about your relationship with wealth and help you identify areas for growth. Finding the balance between security and accessibility is just one piece of the puzzle. In some cases, it's not just about where you store your money, but the environment surrounding it. Certain places carry symbolic negativity that can subtly influence your financial mindset in ways you might not even realize. Understanding these spaces and their impact is the next step in building a more intentional and prosperous financial life. Let's explore how these environments can shape your relationship with money and what you can do to change them for the better. The spaces where we choose to store money are not just practical, they carry deep symbolic meaning. Every environment has its own energy, and when money is placed in areas associated with negativity, waste, or neglect, it can influence our subconscious relationship with wealth. This isn't about superstition, but about the powerful ways our surroundings affect our mindset. When money is stored in places that symbolize loss or disorder, it sends subtle messages to our psyche, reinforcing patterns of financial instability. Understanding these spaces and their impact is crucial for shifting to a mindset of prosperity and abundance. Imagine a kitchen counter cluttered with unopened bills, broken utensils, and spoiled food. Now picture a small stack of cash left in the midst of this chaos, intended for a grocery trip or household expenses. While this may seem harmless, the energy of that space speaks volumes. Kitchens are places of nourishment and preparation, but when neglected or disorganized, they can symbolize wastefulness and neglect. Money stored here becomes part of that disarray, reflecting and amplifying a lack of financial clarity. One common mistake is placing money near trash bins or areas associated with waste. It might be a matter of convenience, tossing spare change onto a counter near the garbage can, or leaving cash in a junk drawer filled with expired coupons and random items. But the symbolism is undeniable. Trash represents things we no longer value, and when money is placed in close proximity, it unconsciously links our wealth to the concept of disposability. Over time, this small habit can subtly influence how we treat our finances, leading to unnecessary spending or a feeling that money never stays. This concept extends to other parts of the home. For instance, storing money in a space filled with broken items or clutter can have a similar effect. Think about that drawer in the corner of your house where old batteries, tangled cords, and forgotten tools go to die. Adding money to this space doesn't just risk it being forgotten, it associates your wealth with the energy of things that are useless or neglected. Over time, this can create a mental disconnect, making it harder to feel in control of your finances. The same principle applies to places that lack care or attention. A wallet, for example, is more than just a functional item. It's a home for your money. When it's overstuffed with receipts, crumpled bills, and loose change, it reflects a lack of respect for your resources. On the other hand, a clean, organized wallet signals intentionality and control. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about the energy you bring to your financial life. These small choices accumulate, shaping how we perceive and interact with money. For example, a family once shared their experience of struggling to save despite earning a comfortable income. After some reflection, they realized that their savings were stored in an old shoebox shoved into a closet filled with outdated clothes and broken items. While the shoebox served its purpose of keeping the money safe, the environment it was in spoke of neglect and stagnation. After reorganizing their space and creating a dedicated area for their finances, they found it easier to manage their money and set clear goals. There's a psychological explanation for this as well. Research shows that our surroundings significantly influence our behavior and decision-making. When we store money in spaces that are chaotic or associated with negative emotions, it can trigger stress and a sense of scarcity. Conversely, environments that are clean, organized, and intentionally designed can foster feelings of abundance and control. Even in spiritual traditions, the connection between space and prosperity is well recognized. In Feng Shui, certain areas of the home are considered wealth corners and are believed to influence financial energy. Keeping these spaces free of clutter and negativity is seen as essential for attracting abundance. While you may not subscribe to the spiritual aspects, the underlying principle is universal. Treating money and its environment with respect creates a foundation for financial growth. Curiously, this idea isn't limited to personal finances. It's reflected in how businesses operate as well. Companies that thrive financially often invest heavily in creating organized, professional spaces. Walk into a successful retail store or office, and you'll likely notice a clean, intentional design that conveys stability and abundance. The same concept can be applied to your personal life. By storing money in areas that symbolize growth and care, you set the stage for financial stability. To put this into practice, start by examining the spaces where your money resides. Are these areas cluttered, neglected, or filled with items that no longer serve a purpose? If so, take a moment to clean and reorganize them. Create a dedicated space for your finances, whether it's a small drawer, a decorative box, or a safe. The key is to choose a location that feels intentional and free from distractions or negativity. Another effective strategy is to add positive symbols to your financial spaces. This could be something as simple as a plant, which represents growth, or a meaningful object that inspires gratitude. By surrounding your money with elements that evoke positivity and abundance, you reinforce a mindset of prosperity. As you begin to transform these spaces, you may notice subtle shifts in your attitude toward money. It's not just about the physical act of organizing, it's about the mental and emotional clarity that comes with it. But even as you create these intentional environments, it's important to be mindful of another common pitfall: mixing money with unrelated items, such as bills, debts, or unnecessary papers. This practice can inadvertently tie your wealth to feelings of burden or obligation. Understanding how to separate these elements is the next step in building a healthier financial mindset. When it comes to managing your money, one of the most overlooked but significant mistakes is mixing it with unrelated items, particularly those tied to burdens, debts, or disorganization. This habit might seem harmless on the surface, but it creates a subtle connection between your wealth and feelings of stress or obligation. Money should be a symbol of opportunity and abundance, not something that gets tangled up with overdue bills, papers you don't need, or items that carry a negative emotional weight. Separating these elements can transform your mindset and foster a healthier relationship with your finances. Picture this: a drawer filled with unopened bills, credit card statements, and scattered cash. Every time you open it, you're reminded of payments due, financial obligations, or things you've been putting off. This setup doesn't just create chaos, it ties your money to a sense of burden. Instead of feeling empowered when you see your wealth, you're likely to feel overwhelmed, as if your resources are constantly being drained. Over time, this emotional association can make it harder to focus on growth and opportunities. Now, imagine the opposite. Your money is stored in a clean, designated space, free from clutter or reminders of debt. It's organized and separate from anything that might weigh you down. Instead of stress, opening this space gives you a sense of clarity and control. You can see what you have, make intentional plans for it, and feel confident in your financial decisions. This simple act of separation can make all the difference in how you perceive and manage your wealth. One common mistake people make is keeping cash or savings alongside overdue bills or financial reminders. While it might seem convenient to store everything in one place, this creates an emotional and symbolic link between your wealth and your obligations. It's as if every dollar you own is already spoken for, tied to something you owe rather than something you can use to build your future. By keeping these items separate, you create a mental boundary that allows you to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. Another area where people tend to mix unrelated items is their wallets. A wallet should be a home for your money, a space that reflects respect and organization. But all too often, wallets become dumping grounds for receipts, business cards, and random bits of paper. This clutter doesn't just make it harder to find what you need, it symbolizes a lack of clarity in your financial life. Taking the time to clean out your wallet, organize your cards, and arrange your cash can create a sense of order that extends to your broader financial habits. The same principle applies to digital spaces. In today's world, much of our financial management happens online, and disorganization here can be just as damaging as physical clutter. Mixing personal and financial emails, for instance, can lead to missed payments or overlooked opportunities. Creating separate folders or systems for financial communication ensures that your money-related tasks are handled with focus and care. It's also important to address the emotional side of this issue. For many people, mixing money with bills or debts is a reflection of their internal relationship with wealth. It speaks to a mindset where money is always associated with fixing problems or catching up. To shift this narrative, start treating your money as a tool for growth and possibility. Create spaces, both physical and mental, where wealth is celebrated, not overshadowed by obligations. One powerful way to do this is through intentional rituals. For example, set aside time each week to review your finances in a positive and focused way. Light a candle, play some calming music, and approach the task with gratitude for what you have. This small act can help you build a more empowering relationship with your money, making it feel like an ally rather than a source of stress. As you work to separate your money from unrelated items, remember that this isn't just about organization. It's about creating a mindset of abundance. When your wealth is treated with respect and care, it sends a message to yourself and the universe that you're ready to welcome more into your life. It's a way of saying, I am in control of my finances and I am open to prosperity. This journey isn't just about avoiding bad habits or changing where you store your money. It's about transforming how you think about wealth and creating spaces, both physical and emotional, that reflect the life you want to build. By taking these small but intentional steps, you're setting the stage for financial growth, clarity, and confidence. As we wrap up this exploration of where not to store your money and how to create better financial habits, I want to thank you for taking the time to invest in your financial well-being. It's not always easy to make changes, but every small step you take brings you closer to a life of abundance and security. If you found this information helpful, I'd love for you to support the channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing this video with friends and family who could benefit from these insights. Let's grow our financial awareness together and help others on their journey to prosperity. And before you go, I have a challenge for you. Head to the comments and type, "I want to be rich." Saying it out loud, or in this case, typing it, sends a powerful signal to yourself and the universe that you're ready to embrace abundance. Let's fill the comments with that declaration and create a ripple of positivity and intention. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Remember, your wealth journey starts with small, intentional changes, and every step forward matters. See you soon.